Hello,
Hi, I'm Elliot Kelly.
I'm Jodi Netzer.
This is 6012 East 15th Street. One, slowly pan across a small circle around the property. You're looking at it right now is the front of the house. It's got a newer roof. It's next to a middle school. The neighbor's got a truck lift and a lot of trucks. He looks like some kind of repairman. And we've got some kind of wrought iron artist neighbor. The street itself is pretty nice, a lot of mature trees on it. We've got some strange white and metallic fencing on the other neighbor's side. On the roof you see a swamp cooler. So when you inspect a property, the first thing you do is you look at your corners. Right, Jody?
Absolutely.
Alright. In the 50s and 60s they really built property well. You can see there's really no cracking anywhere. And this is paint and it's not so fresh that it would hide anything. We've got bars that don't really meet code on the front of the house.
That means we need to change them.
This wooden porch here, which is kind of a disaster. I can tell this guy did a lot of his own work. It's probably somebody who lived here a long time. Whenever you have an addition on a cheap addition on property that's rarely to code, we get a lot of this stuff. What's it called, Jody?
T111.
T111. If you look up on the interior here, we've got the old metal awning. It looks like it was some kind of added metal carport. The style is very dated. Those stars are very indicative of 1960s. Over here we've got some kind of added wall that was never finished over that's going to need to be torn out. The corners still look pretty good, and there are very few cracks anywhere on the property. But right about here is where they added to it. We don't know when, but I'm pretty sure this is an older addition. Probably happened around the time of construction, because it has a similar almost look to it. This appears to have been the third addition on the property. You can see right here it has a different kind of slab. On the other side it has a brick slab. We'll show that in a second. Over here it's concrete, but it's lower down. And then they
Replace these materials here.
yeah, what do you call this, Jody?
That's chipboard.
Chipboard, also known as OSB. This is called particle board. That's cheaper generally. And this is T111, and this is plywood. So you can see it's like, it's just a hodgepodge. A lot of this old metal roofing that just looks ugly, but we're also dealing with wood that kind of looks like it was plastered over or something. And I mean, to me, it just looks like it needs to be torn to the ground. We're in the back here.
There's a nice flower plant at least.
You see we've got more of this T111. We've got a brick foundation, whereas on the other side we've got a concrete foundation. The good news is we have silver tags on the meters and not red tags, which means that we should easily be able to turn the utilities back on. If you back up and you look at the roof, though, we have some pretty substantial problems. I mean, the swamp cooler appears to have been leaking inside the house. You can see where the metal flashing for the roof has rusted right more or less here underneath the swamp cooler. We also call them evaporative coolers. They're common in desert environments, but you don't see them in many other places in the country. And if you zoom in on the cooler, you can see that it's caked with a kind of white powder. That's calcium carbonate from our water. We have very hard water in Tucson. So the other thing I noticed is that this white stuff is called, we call it rubberized roofing. It's kind of a white rubber and it reflects light really well. But what the homeowner appears to have done is white coated the roof and then the swamp cooler appears to have eaten through the rubberization, and so they re-rubberized underneath it. And then we see a lot of this is there's an overflow valve inside of a swamp cooler, and so what the homeowner did to protect the roof in addition is they took a garden hose and they stuck it onto the overflow valve, and that's what that long green hose is. And I think it probably has something to do with why this bush is so beautiful. We would probably keep this, but we'd need to trim it up, cut some of the dead wood off. The yard itself is pretty small, and probably has sufficient storage, so I would just tear this down. I feel a little bit better about the wood shed than I do the metal shed, but the problem with the metal shed is it really occupies the corner that I'd like the wood shed to be in. So I don't know if we can easily move it over there or if we should just scrap both of them. It'd be a shame to waste the materials, but we may have no choice. I've never even seen a metal gate like this. It looks like it belongs out in the countryside. Maybe it's designed to hold cows or something.
Horses.
Yeah, I have no idea. You can see where they've chipped out the wall though. And really that wall probably ought to have been kept. I don't know what we would do with that, but I don't like it as a gate. You might talk to the wrought iron guy across the street. Maybe he has some kind of solution. All right, let's go inside and take a peek at the inside. Got water damage at the bottom of it, so it either need to be painted and refinished or removed. It might be salvageable, actually.
Some sanding.
We've got a 2-prong electric there, and we have this like false pony wall. It's absolutely weird. Yeah. I need to come down. There's an electric outlet here that would need to be capped off.
Show movies and, you can buy your tickets here.
No. That all goes. This is a very dated ceiling fan. It would have to go. But something that frightens me a little bit is that the floor here appears to be uneven. And I think it's because we have an addition that's more or less right here, and there's a foundational stem wall more or less here. So I think there could be some issues with how level this floor, is, and we might need to re-level the floor. And then there appears to be like a strange wall here. And this is one of the big mysteries of what to do with the house, because you've got a cut-in maybe for that electric wall. Yeah, and then an ugly vent. But you can see kind of where they just didn't even bother to finish the job. Like they didn't even mud it in really here or along the top. They went with this two-tone flooring, but really all this flooring needs to be torn out. This is a kind of a laminate tile. This faux wood floor needs to be torn up. And then I'm actually not happy with this wall, which probably is not one very we need to check, because this post might be. But ideally, we would tear this wall out to about where that vent is. So there would be more open space, more of an open plan. I'm also not crazy about this wall. If I could blow this out, I would. The problem is it's made out of brick, and it's almost certainly holding the roof up. So I think we may be forced to simply keep it. But it might be interesting to move this wall forward to here so that it appears flush with this corner. It feels off to me. The ceiling fan must die. This has to go. Really, all the cabinets have to go. The countertops have to go. The faucet is a nice faucet. We might keep that. The fridge looks okay. That might stay. The stove looks okay. Could probably stay. Well, we've got those probably, and we don't know quite where the leak is. But this may be coming from the swamp cooler and moving through the attic and falling, or it may be around the, yeah, this is a natural skylight of some kind. So there may be some kind of leak around the edges of the skylight. I like the skylight, I just don't like the trim and I don't like the lens that's on it. I'd like to replace that lens.
Really tacky.
But it's good to have natural lighting. And then we'd want to replace the vents. Really, throughout a house you want to replace vents because they're like $7. Again, we got a 2-prong electric, so there's 3 or 4 locations in the house we've got.
Here it gets pretty cozy.
Prong, yeah. So in here we have a pantry, and the pantry is absolutely huge. And that's a pretty good thing.
It's like a whole other room.
At least we have a lot of storage in the house as a result. And if we blow this wall back a little further, we'll have even more room back here.
Here, come on in.
Yeah, go ahead and show that.
This is where a washer dryer would go. And a sink.
Yeah.
So it's like a pantry inside a pantry. Whereas laundry inside a pantry.
Laundry inside a pantry.
Laundry inside a pantry.
We've got some kind of, you know, do-it-yourselfer sort of plumbing looking out here. Now this is the addition. This is the really truly scary part of the house. It looks like
The room from hell.
yeah, it really looks awful.
You have a vampire fireplace too.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a legitimate fireplace or if it's just false. It's hard to say. There's some kind of hole up there, so maybe it's legit. But I wouldn't want to start a fire in it.
It's wood paneling.
And it's sort of cheap plastic
Crazy.
wood paneling. And then this appears to have been some kind of like dog chamber. And here the floor is very uneven. And it runs out to where the dog door is. And it's pretty much where the beginning of the cheap construction in the house is. So I think this was maybe 1,000 to 1,100 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath house that was converted into a dog nightmare. This is the standard part of the house. We've got a hallway closet. A lot of these we've been able to successfully convert into laundry rooms, but I don't think in this case that would be all that bright. We've got a bathroom in here. You can just go in and spin around. That has really good tile, but the colors are bad. The ceiling above the bathtub that separates the bathtub from the rest of the bathroom would probably
This
need to
must go.
Yeah, it's like some kind of decorative false wall that would need to go. I'm okay with the sink, I'm okay with the toilet. I'm not okay with the tile in the shower. And I'm not okay with the shower kit. I'm not okay with the shelf over the toilet. I'm not okay with the lack of GFCI where the bathroom sink is. We may need to replace the bulbs in the lighting fixture above the mirror, but that appears to be okay. And I'd like maybe a new interior door with a panel door here. Bedrooms are pretty basic. The light is okay. The 2-prong electric on that wall is not okay. The bars would probably need to be removed. These are called casement windows. They're about $2 a pane, so we'll keep the windows, but we'll buy blinds and cover them because it's not much of a view. Look at the bars or the neighbor's junk lift. New vents. Underneath here we put a new vent as well. It's called a return vent. We've got a largely new water heater. The water heater looks great. We have a dated heating, a central heating unit. Don't tell you if it works yet. It looks like it's gas, but it looks like at least it's pretty clean and it's likely to work. Probably wind up fixing or replacing the damage to that door. There's a nice build-in here. It looks like it was done by hand and it's solid wood, so I think I'd be likely to keep this and just leave it as it is, although I would paint the edges white so that they would match.
And screws.
And I would replace these knobs with something newer and prettier.
Flashy.
Might go with, yeah, so this is bizarre and I have no idea why it's even here, but it would have to go. These shutters would be replaced by screens. The window AC unit would go, the vents would go, we'd keep the light fixture, we'd put a closet door here. I don't really know why this bizarre diagonal board is here, but that would probably need to go. The
And this
closet appears to be weird. And
favorite
right,
T111.
T111 would be replaced with sheetrock. The ceiling panels looks okay, actually. I think we might keep this one. The carpet would go, the wood paneling would go, the closet doors would be replaced, the internal kit in the closet would be replaced. We'd probably replace the glass and not go with this colored pane stuff, and then get blinds here. This needs a brand new door. The whole bathroom is really small. This is the master bath. The tile looked okay at a glance, but as I've looked at it carefully, I think it needs to be torn out. There's a very, very low ceiling in the shower, and there's a lot of water damage on the roof of this room here. So this is where we cut into the roof and make sure we don't have a serious black mold infection. Put a new vent in, put a new vanity in, at least the new vanity mirror. Toilet's okay, and put a new electric GFCI. Faucets are good. Sink is okay. New trim, new interior door. All right. New light in the hallway. I was thinking initially this might be about a $15,000 project, but now that I have had a chance to take a look at it, it looks more like a 20, maybe a 25. And a lot of that depends on whether we should keep the addition or get rid of the addition. This would be Jodi's first. I'm her mentor.
He's a great mentor.
Yeah, she's nothing but trouble. Thanks a lot.